All right, flat drop. I want to continue with World Beyond the Poles. We got into some of this. Again, shout out to Brian Clark for the drop on this. And I might, what I'm saying, be screaming on this one, man, because I got to tell y'all in advance, I might be screaming. I might be screaming. Because this is a sincere drop. This guy kind of does it real corny with his chipmunk voice. I think he's trying to hide his voice, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, don't let the voice throw you off. Just read this thing and definitely check this book out, World Beyond the Poles. It's written in the late 1800s, I believe, and it's about $170, but I'll put the link on there. I can't find the PDF, so I'll put the link, and this is some of it right here. And let's just read it before we even get started. Just a little bit of it. Start up here. Further, the assumption value was imposed more than 400 years ago. Now, right now we're talking about the assumption of the Earth being a globe. We assume it's a globe. We've never seen it with our own eyes, so we can only take someone else's description. You know what I'm saying? Someone else who has the drop with all the technology, billions. Imagine what you can do with an unlimited budget. Unlimited dollars. Print money, print money, print money. You can fake anything you want to, fake. So I know it's hard to let go, people, but everything you've seen has been images, composites, paintings. Nothing has been an actual, all those images have been composites and paintings. Nothing has actually been a picture of your spinning ball. And it's time to get real. Alright, so this is from World Beyond the Poles, and these are from explorers, that have been, not circumnavigating, but, exploring and telling you that you cannot circumnavigate. You cannot go from north to south or east to west and pop out on the other side of your ball. When they say they circumnavigate east and west, here's, Africa and America, they just go in a circle around it. They're not going around a ball. They're going in a circle around it, like I'm circumnavigating right now. So this is water, land. You can circumnavigate. Just by going in a circle, you're circumnavigating, and that's the trick. You think you're going over curvature and all this, but you're not seeing any curvature. Just the waves and water that's always flat. We'll get into that, but let's get into this. So further, the assumptive value was imposed more than 400 years ago, at a time when restrictions on polar explorations prohibited determination of factual terrestrial extent. Alright, so this happened 400 years ago. That's Copernicus, right? This is about 100 years ago this was written, so that's 500 years ago to us. At a time when restrictions on polar explorations prohibited determination of factual terrestrial extent. It should also be held in mind that the Earth cannot be circumnavigated north or south without the meaning, within the meaning of circumnavigate. However, certain around-the-world flights have contributed to popular misconception about the Earth has been circumnavigated north and south. This has been a misconception because of these around-the-world flights, in quotation marks, over the North Pole, with return to North Temperate Zone areas without turning around cannot be accomplished. You cannot fly over the North Pole, alright, and then return to the other side, with return to North Temperate Zone areas without turning around. You have to turn around and come back. You cannot keep going and think you're going to pop back out on some ball because you're not on a ball. That's an illusion. It's an illusion. If you don't think people are so cold that they will inception you, you seen the movie Inception? That little spinning thing, he had to keep spinning. He had to keep, spinning his little top just to make sure he knows what's reality. This is your globe. They put this in your mind when your defenses were down, when you were a child, you were 4 or 5 years old. And they put this in your mind, and they said, this is your world, this is your world. And they implanted it so deep in your subconscious that most of us can't get it out. And those that try, everybody's going to attack that person for even trying to remove the image out of their mind. Just like Inception, the program turns against you once you wake up out of it or they realize that you're foreign to it. Once you say that, oh, flat earth, that's a trigger, and people that still have this inceptionalized within them, they turn against those that are against the program. They're showing you in the Matrix what's happening. They're showing you in the movies Inception what's happening. And people immediately snap and turn against you. It's like a spirit. It's a trigger. When B.O.B., and shout out to B.O.B. again, man. Check out a couple videos ago. I dropped the whole B.O.B. mixtape, Earth. Every single damn track is breaking down this drop pretty much right in B.O.B.'s flow. He's rapping over classical music, doing his thing. So shout out to B.O.B. Download that mixtape. Check it out in 432 hertz. You can compare it in 432 and 440 right on our website. You know what I'm saying? It should be right there. Just click on compare 432 in the categories and vibe to it, because the king is spitting. But once he started spitting about this, everybody turned on him. You got people say, stop rapping, B.O.B. You're a disgrace to hip hop. Like, he's rapping about knowledge. He's digging up documentation. And all you're doing is listening to NASA. You're going to agree with these guys. You're going to agree with the one people that's funded by the Germans, by those Nazis that came over. Half went to Russia, half came here. Now you got the Cold War of all these Nazi scientists setting up here. NASA is all that. It's the same thing. And they're telling you this? No. They're telling you the opposite. Again, you got to flip-flop everything. You know what I'm saying? The whole map is upside down. Everything's flip-flop. You got to flip it and flip it again. Flip it and flip it. So over the North Pole, with returns to North Temperate Zone areas without turning around cannot be accomplished because there is no northern end to the Earth. There is no northern end to the Earth. I'm just going to be quiet for a second while you dig on it. I know. And look, none of these things individually you have to accept as a fact because you haven't seen it either, right? You don't know, right? But here's what you do know. That you've never seen water form into no ball or no perfect sphere. So let's just keep going because I don't want to go crazy. Alright, so there's no northern end to the Earth. The same conditions hold true for the South Pole. So you can go on north forever. You can go on south forever, they're saying. And it might be the same going this way too. But it gets deeper, people. Remember, this is part 2. Told y'all we'll be back. We're going to keep dropping these type of documents. I'm going to get back to the other document, the enlightenment of the world, and go through those very simple proofs for your conscience. You know what I'm saying? These are very simplistic things because, again, we have the senses to know our habitat on our own without our masters having to tell us where we live and how much land we got. We have the senses, and we have the exploration and the ability from antiquity to know these things. So don't front on your ancestors that told you that they weren't spinning. Don't front on them thinking that you got some new science above them. This is not their science. This is the truth. Their science tells you that the sun is 96 million miles away, when you can look at any YouTube independent balloon experiment. Just look at balloon test flat earth. Just Google that, balloon test flat earth. See how they are flying up their own cameras and showing you your flat earth right on their cameras, and see how close the sun is, and you know damn well it's not 96 million miles away, because it makes a hot spot right on top of the clouds. And you cannot make a hot spot like a lamp hitting a table. You cannot make a hot spot on the clouds from 96 million miles away. That is improbable and illogical. Well, let's continue. Hold up, man. Alright. Make sure we straight. Yeah, man. Here we go. Alright, so the same conditions hold true for the South Pole. All progressive movements beyond their respective poles lead beyond the assumed ends of an isolated globe Earth. Wow. We haven't even started. I haven't even pressed play. We're 10 minutes in on the first two paragraphs. I'm going to let it rock. I'm going to try to, you know what I'm saying? But come on. Where you going to get this information? This book costs $170, so they ain't making it easy. And I'll show you something, too, which is really crazy. Hold up for a second. Really crazy. I looked up this book. I'm going to attach this link on Amazon. Again, it's $170. There we go. See it? Alright, $170. And here's this little, I'm looking for a summary of the book, and these masters of manipulation got to the summary and wrote this. Caution, Worlds Behind the Poles, published 1959, is controversial and not about the Hollow Earth. So, no one's asking about the Hollow Earth, but they want to throw it out there. Evidently, the book was published to damage the reputation of the Hollow Earth information available up to that point. The book is nothing but illogical misinformation. Now, who would write that about the summary of a book that they wanted you to read? But this is on Amazon as the summary. There's no other summary for this other than somebody's opinion that this is illogical. Not bad. Get the camera focused. Illogical misinformation, an attempt to discredit the true published history of the 1940s. Admiral Byrd, a successful expedition to the inner Earth contents, the changing scene, extrasensory perception, connected universe. Anyway, so they just want to get there and say, hey, you know, don't read this, basically. At the very end, they say, you have been warned. You know what I mean? So, this is a misinformation book. Don't read it. That makes me really want to read this book now, because I've never seen that before. In the summary, I mean, come on. So, somebody's hiding something. They don't want you to read it. They're saying it automatically off top. Go look into the Hollow Earth theory. This is misinformation. You've been warned. Caution. Alright, so let's let it play. But check it out. All progressive movements beyond the respective pole points, the south and north, leads beyond the assumed ends. So we thought we had ends before. Some people don't even know we have ends. They think we're on a ball. But those that at least know we're not on a ball know that there are ends. And they're like, well, where's the end? Where's the edge? Why don't you fall off? Because these points lead beyond the assumed ends of an isolated globe. They put you on a finite globe, and then what? Now you're not looking for, if you really knew you were on a plane and there was more land, people would not stay in these little cities and be oppressed and act like we don't got enough food and all this kind of stuff and all this water pollution in Flint. Tamir Rice and all my people's getting, you know what I'm saying, gunned down like real cowboy and Indians. This cowboy and Indian stuff has never, ever stopped. And they put us on an isolated globe to keep you in captivity. To keep you in captivity in the Middle Earth. And they guard the Arctic Circle like ranchers. 53 countries in the 1950s did the Antarctic Treaty to guard all the perimeters. So if you come near here, they're going to sink your boat. If you ain't invited, you go missing. You don't get to explore north, south, east. You don't get to explore outside of Middle Earth. That's why it's Middle Earth. And you are stuck here. Let you try to leave. Let you try to migrate anywhere. You'll see you're in captivity at this moment. Like Harriet Tubman said, I freed thousands of slaves. I could have freed thousands more if they only knew they were slaves. If they only knew they were on a plantation and they're calling it Middle Earth. We can't leave. We can't go nowhere else. But we're so ignorant, we're fighting over Africa or America. We have our inheritance in this plane, in this particular part of this plane. The Most High has ordered. We have our inheritance. But there is more land and more situations happening. More worlds beyond the poles. Let's go.
This book is certainly
blowing my mind here.
Alright. And don't get freaked out by the weird chipmunk voice.
It says that should be remembered that the so-called northern and southern ends of the earth were only assumed. restrictions on polar explorations prohibited determination of factual terrestrial extent. It should also be held in mind that the Earth cannot be circumnavigated north and south within the meaning of circumnavigate. However, certain around-the-world flights have contributed to popular misconception that the Earth has been circumnavigated north and south. Over the North Pole, with return to North Temperate Zone areas without turning around, can never be accomplished.
Never.
Because there is no northern end to the Earth. The same conditions hold true for the South Pole.
There is no northern end to the Earth. The same conditions hold true for the South Pole. There's no northern end according to this particular source here, and it was in the 1800s. So us bringing it up now ain't like, oh, this is a new thing to hide the Creator. No, we're showing you the Creator. We're stopping you from spinning so you can focus on your Creator and how important you are. You're the apple of your Creator's eye. He's watching you. He's right here. He ain't nowhere else. He's here. Everything's about here. But what else is here? And that's what we're exploring right here.
All progressive movement beyond the respective pole points leads beyond the assumed ends of an isolated globe Earth. And that area beyond constitutes a land connection with the celestial.
What?
That connect.
They just said that you can go north and south, and that all progressive movement beyond the respective pole, beyond that pole point, leads beyond the assumed ends, isolated go, and that area beyond constitutes a land connection with the celestial, just like the book of Enoch. He says, at the end of the earth, I saw, the prison for the stars, and the stars had a different prison, and you can connect, you can actually drive or connect straight to the heavens. I'm not talking about the throne of the Most High, high above the firmament, but you can definitely, apparently connect, if you keep going north or south, to celestial, to the stars. This plane connects to the stars if you go far enough, which is why they won't let you go far north or far south. They won't let you connect to the celestial. What else is over there? Huh?
Land, though appearing up or out from terrestrial points other than the poles, is attainable by movement straight ahead from the imaginary pole points.
Wow.
This is not 1927.
Wow.
The existence of worlds beyond the poles has been confirmed by U.S. naval exploration during the 30 years since then. The confirmation is most substantial, though information has not been divulged to the public. That is why this book is dutifully but most arduously written. And here is a copy of a map in this book.
Pause it so you can look at the map. They got the North and South Pole here in the center. This being our North Pole is the center. That's a different diagram.
Pole is here.
But it's worth looking into.
And here is
Admiral Byrd.
Land discovery beyond the South Pole.
Look into Admiral Richard Byrd. He got the drop on that.
Admiral Richard E. Byrd, U.S. Navy.
And his partner,
Captain
Hubert
Sir George
Wilkins.
Hubert Wilkins. Land, ice, water.
And Wilkins is the drop behind this.
And water throughout the universe. Yeah. It says here from North Pole, something the so-called heavens above. From South Pole into the so-called heavens above. Endless connecting land beyond North Pole discovered February 1947 by
This is the drop.
Richard E. Byrd.
Who's teaching you this? So you gotta dig it. If it's not coming from your mainstream, you gotta dig on it, man. Right now, look into it at the very least.
Apparently, if you travel beyond the pole,
Shout out again to Brian Clark, man,
trying to
digging this
understand
up.
this, yeah.
Worlds
Travel
Beyond the
up
Poles by Wilkins. And we
into
got a lot
the
more
heavens,
drop.
yeah.
A lot more drop.
The circle of the heavens. The universe as it must deceptively appear and as it has been misinterpreted throughout the ages.
Mm-hmm.
So, this book here on Google, it only shows you, previews of certain pages here. It does not show you. You have to buy the book
Okay.
to get the full picture here. But I can. There's 30 and 31 are not shown. They're saying right around 1927 and 28. Right when Sir Hubert Wilkins was getting ready to take off.
Now check this out.
He was told and approached that, hey, when you get to the South Pole, it may just be land that just keeps on going and going and going and going.
Just keep on going. Check all this out, though. Make sure you pause it.
What this author here is trying to say.
I'm just going to let it go.
The Galilean mechanics are no longer required. Their purpose was to fortify the assumptive framework of the Copernican system. The laws propounded by Galileo had no consideration for the then unknown natural law which governs the real universe.
They don't even need their technology once you understand it's an illusion.
Artificial universe embraced by
Artificial.
imaginations in the Copernican formula.
Imaginations, Copernican.
Illusory. Hence, there can be no further purpose for the mechanics intended to sustain such a premise of illusion.
Premise of illusion. My people, this has been a premise of illusion. This whole deception, this whole situation. So these illustrations are an attempt to break through the illusion. It's going to be difficult to get that inception that's been planted already inside of you. But fight for it. Because if you get on this plane, you stop spinning, it can be infinite. It's not like you're taking your expanding universe and leaving it. Now you got an expanding plane. But first you got to get down with your plane, get it in order, understand who you are, get back to reality, get down with your tribal business, and suit up, choose up, man. Next time, man, we got a lot more digging to do in that enlightenment of the world drop. And shout out again to Brian Clark, man, for all the drop. Love y'all, man. We'll be back, Yeah. Hey, it's an illusion. Wake up.